The Vivo V7 has enough to make an excellent first impression: full view display, fashionable design, high-res cameras, snappy chipset, and a fancy title, official smartphone for FIFA World Cup 2018. But beyond all these niceties is Vivo's continuing dedication to the selfie photography, and the V7 puts your face on two 4MP pictures. There is Vivo V7 but there is also the V7 Plus. Unlike other smartphone pairs, the V7 Plus only gets a 0.2 larger screen diagonal and 8% higher battery capacity to deserve the extra plus sign in its model name. But we're not judging. Diversity has always been a good thing. We're just here to find out what the duo has to offer and whether it delivers where it needs to. Having already reviewed the V7 Plus, we know the potential of the V7, its performance, its imaging skills, face unlock and FunTouch OS. So we approached this review well prepared and with high expectations. What we missed in the V7 Plus and now in the V7 is dual-band Wi-Fi support and perhaps the fast charging. The Snapdragon 450 platform has native support for those, but for some reason, Vivo chose not to implement them. Those are not deal breakers, though. And we are at least glad to see a dedicated microSD slot on a dual SIM phone once again. For a reasonably priced mid-ranger, the V7's retail package is full of goodies. In addition to the 10W charger and the microSD cable, you'll also get a comfy pair of earbuds and a thin silicone case. All V7 units also come with a factory-applied screen protector. The Vivo V7 has the same metallic looks as the Plus. But once again it's made of plastic. Yet, if we don't tell you about it, you would have a really hard time figuring that out. Which means Vivo did a great job building the V7 shell, and that counts for something. And speaking of the V7 Plus, we can't miss the opportunity to size up those two and show you how small the difference is. The 5.7 full-view widescreen is the V7's standout feature. Vivo has jumped on the 18:9 bandwagon, which allows for a more immersive experience with some apps while bringing black strips with other apps. This screen trend is not going away anytime soon, so the DEVS should really step up the optimization for this screen aspect ratio. The 2.4MP selfie snapper, which we saw on the V7 Plus, is still here, but apparently, there wasn't enough space for V7 Plus' LED flash. Nevertheless, you can use the so-called screen flash, and it can get quite bright too. Unlike the V7 Plus, Vivo didn't mention the maker of the V7's screen glass, so can't know for sure how tough it is. The V7 body might be plastic, but Vivo has done an excellent job out of making it look like metal all the way down to the antenna lines carved around the top and bottom. As you can imagine, those are there for purely decorative purpose, as you can have the antennas on the inside when you have a plastic back cover. The only piece of real metal is found around the bulge of the rear 1.6MP camera. There is also a LED flash at the back, and the fingerprint sensor is nearby. The scanner is always on and recognizes fingerprints in an instant. At 139 grams of weight, the V7 is very light for a phablet. It provides a rather secure grip enhanced by the sharp curves around the sides. Single-handed operations aren't the V7's strong side, but handling that large and yet lightweight body feels surprisingly nice. A 5.7 full-view display on the budget. Vivo is among the first makers to offer the tall, bezel-less display on a budget mid-ranger. The 18:9 display is 5.7 in diagonal W. Hitch is a bit of a stretch for its 720x 1440 resolution. Still, at 282 pixels per inch density we saw no pixelization, and while the screen won't top any charts, it is quite enough for the class. Beneath the surface of the IPS LCD panel lies a standard RGB pixel arrangement with an equal number of subpixels for each primary color. The Vivo V7 display has a maximum brightness of 470 nits and impressively deep black levels, which held to an excellent contrast ratio of 1:1593. The color rendering is average. The screen offers mostly accurate colors, but it looks a bit bluish, and the representation of the white color is off, delta of 11.5. The overall color rendering out of the box worked out to an average delta of 5.5, which is quite an agreeable number in this price range. The sunlight legibility is below average, and the V7 suffers from washed out colors in the sun. Other than that, you will be able to see what's happening on the screen outdoors, but on bright days you'll probably need all the brightness this screen can muster. There is a 3000 mAh battery inside the Vivo V7. The phone ships with a rather standard 5 volts 2A plug, and it fills up 25% of a depleted battery in 30 minutes, while it will take about 3 hours for a full recharge. The Vivo V7 posted an endurance rating of 77H. That's a slightly below average number for a 14 nanometers chipset. The performance in the call and web test routines is quite promising, but there was a relatively higher power draw in the video playback test, as well as in standby.